Scholars! Welcome to the counselor's office. I've been waiting to do this video specifically because been waiting for the moment that it makes the most sense. Instead of doing, I don't do guides. And if anyone cares to know what I'm talking about, we are going to review all of Revenant's seasonal weapons, just more the splicer weapons and the actual Revenant weapons themselves. Not like the open world stuff, none of that. We're just focusing on the weapons from this specific season. Why am I doing this? Because in like a week or two, we're about to get the last act. And some of you are going to come back and you're like, what should I grind for? Is it worth it? Is the new stuff coming out worth it? What about the splicer weapons? Like, I've been playing other games. Like I have. I've been playing other games and having a good time. And if you want to see if it's worth it or if there's any good weapons, I'm not doing a ranking system. I'm just going to tell you if it's worth it or not. I think if you're a new player, everything's subjective, but I will give you some insight based on a veteran who has had years of experience with guns, whether it's actually maybe worth it for a new player. But outside of that, that's what we're doing today. Hit that like button down below. Thank you guys. We went to 1.5K in the channel. Again, some of you have spent money, and some of you even maybe bought this for Christmas cheap because you want to dip your toes just to see, like, it's on sale. I don't think this season's on sale. Maybe if you bought the bundle, it is. I don't know. Either way, I'm doing this for people who actually care, and for the ones that just want to know, like, is there really anything interesting in Act 3 coming? Let's find out together. I'm just starting from the top. All the seasonal weapons, I know what they all are, so we're going to go down the list. Not in any specific order of like what you should grind for. I'll tell you if it's something worth it or not. Let's start with Chroma Rush. I always take light GG with a grain of salt, especially with people who are willing to rank it, because you're like, oh man, 4.9, this is almost a 5 stars in PvE and PvP. Oh my god, it must be a godsend. I'm gonna be honest. There's no reason to use this in PvE. And I'm going to tell you why. Multi-Mac. Everyone got a God Roll Multi-Mac that had kinetic tremors, and it has attrition orbs, which is really good. Everyone. They literally gave everyone, if you just sign in, you go to the postmaster, not the postmaster, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot him. I'm having issues remembering like he does. Oh, Banshee. Thank you. Banshee. Oh my god, I've literally had a brain fart on the dude who has brain farts. That's ironic. Yeah. For PvE, this is ass. There's nothing in the slot that's worth it. Like, you would never use this. Now, PvP, a lot of people have been using kinetic tremors. It's for some cheesy builds. Again, I don't think it's a 5 star. It's like a 3 for fun. It's good. It does good damage. For 6s, it's fun. I played some trials. I played a little bit of comp. It's not overly broken. Like, I think there's a lot of hopium and copium. But if you want a decent PvP weapon, pop off. For PvE, you literally should already have a free version of Multi-Mac with attrition orbs and kinetic tremors. It does everything that this gun does and better. So this is like for PvE, huge skip. So hopefully I'm saving you time on that. Now moving onward, don't waste your time on this. Ignition code. I love this gun. I had my God Roll, which was like Blinding Gate, Slide Shot. I think I had Vorpal on mine. Even if you're a new player, don't even bother. Don't bother. It is not worth your time at all. Period. Don't even bother. It might be lightweight, but you know what else is lightweight? Not lightweight, but you know what's good? Mountaintop. Why? For DPS, for damage, ignition code is ass. Use Mountaintop. For utility, let me introduce you to Liturgy, which is in the same slot. It is stasis, but it gets the exact same layout. It has a perk that when you slide, it reloads. It has utility in disorienting grenades or blind grenades, whatever. And then it also has the extra utility of choke clip. The only difference is it's a double fire versus a lightweight single fire. But when it comes to utility, Liturgy, and let me preference this. This is the pinnacle weapon of this season. Out of everything you could possibly get, this is a 5 out of 5 star for utility. Not to say that there isn't other chill clip weapons that do the things better, but for the fact that you can blind things and freeze them, you have a lot of synergy. You could also go Rhyme Stealer if you don't care about reloading, like being able to freeze things, then get frost armor for free, or even for DPS. Again, you could go chill clip, envious, arsenal with spike nades, or you could get greedy and try to do both, like a hybrid build. You could literally do that. There is no reason to use Ignition Code. Mountaintop exists as the superior kinetic grenade launcher, and for utility, Liturgy is now the best grenade launcher in the game for utility purposes. It deals with champions, it deals with crowds, you can use it for DPS. It is a switch knife that covers so much. Granted, Tanasha's, exist, and it probably does what it does better, but if we're using for GLs, which right now, there is a artifact in the mod that does, when you do GL damage, you're going to weaken them, right? So you're going to debuff them. But alone, this deals with champions too. This is the pinnacle. I want to stress, if you're a returning player, this is the pinnacle. If you're a new player, this is the pinnacle. If you're a veteran like me, then you've already come to the realization you don't have to grind at all, because the battle pass literally just gives you this roll. You literally get to 150 or whatever it is. I don't think it's 150, but it's somewhere down the line. They literally just give you the god roll. You don't even have to grind. Sure, who cares about whatever this is and what the masterwork is? Literally pick it up from the battle pass, enhance it, and you're done. You don't have to grind. They literally give you this. Unless you're wanting for, like I said, the switchblade, and you want envious, or you want spike nades. But if you're using it straight for utility, they give it to you. They give you the god roll utility. You don't need to grind. If you want the wombo package, like you want both of these, you could grind Onslaught. I don't know why you would, but you could grind Onslaught and get the combo package. I would try to get both of these. Like if there was anything, I would get a Masterwork double perk version. It's not even shiny. I would get spike nades, blinding nades, arsenal, slideways, and chill clip. You might be able to argue that maybe who cares about slideways and go straight for synergy. Go Rhyme Stealer, chill clip. You could do that too. I just want to emphasize, this is the gun. If you only logged in, grind out your battle pass, and then got off, you would have the best weapon in the game. Because you already have this loadout right here. That's all you need for utility. I wish I was joking, but there it is. I'm going to be brutally honest to you. If you're a new player, boom, you got a god roll. If you're a returning player, boom, you got a god roll. If you're a veteran, you probably already realized this, or you already have played a little bit to get the other version for DPS. I don't see any world where I grind for anything outside of this weapon. I'm going to be very honest. Maybe for niche PvP uses like the auto rifle we just talked about, Chroma Rush. Outside of that, I think Chroma Rush is nostalgia bait. I think there's plenty of, like, Summoner exists. There's other good weapons other than Chroma Rush. I think it's nostalgia bait. That's my opinion. Especially for PvE. But this is the pinnacle for PvE, utility, and everything. Like, this is Revenant, when you look at Revenant, this is the gun that you should care about. I know I spent a lot of time talking about this, but I want to put a lot of emphasis because we're going to skip along, because most of everything else is just like, we're going to brush it under the rug, because you're going to realize how useless most of the other weapons are. All right. Exuvia. I like the name because it makes me think I'm saying Exodia, but it's Exuvia. Exuvia. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. For PvP, there's so many 120s. Iron Banner has better ones, but if you're like wanting a Make-A-Wish 120, boom, there you go. Or if you love Lone Wolf, boom, there you go. Or you go for the flinch factor, which I think they're nerfing flinch with 120s or hand cannons in general. For PvE, if I'm going to use, I'm going to go like, I'm going to take advantage of, first off, I don't use 120s in PV. I use 140s. They hit hard enough, and their ease of use is... But if I'm going to use this weapon, I'm going to use it for its strengths. And its strength is its stasis synergy. Headstone with Rhyme Stealer, you get a kill. You shoot a crystal, you kill other things. You activate Rhyme Stealer. You're getting your Frost Armor, and you don't even need to use stasis to benefit from this, by the way. But if you did build into stasis, you could obviously double dip. Again, I'm not a 120 fan. They're too slow. They're too clunky. I don't like to fill them. And you could say, well, we'll do Headstone and like Keep Away or something else that increases or stats for all. I would rather use a 140 hand cannon, to be honest. What do I think in PvP? If you're a new player or returning player, 120s are very strong. Honestly, if you could get good at using it, Keep Away, Precision, it will do you well because you can like three tap with it. For PvE, if you don't have a good 140, you're coming in or you're returning. I mean, I think going for this kit will do you well, especially if you're trying to build your kit. You're trying to do like stasis or maybe prismatic, and you're just trying to build into keywords. As a new player, I would say this is like a 3. I wouldn't say this is a 4 or a 5. I would say this is a 3. Like, it's not bad, but it's not great either. All right, let's continue on. Red Tape. This is not out yet. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a veteran, you've already clocked out on this because it's a scout rifle, and this one is not that good. Like, we've got Hung Jury. Hung Jury from clearly regular, from Legacy Onslaught that had better combinations than this. Again, if I'm going to use it, I'm going to use the stasis keywords. This Headstone and Rhyme Stealer. That's it. That's what I'm using it for. For PvP, I don't know why you would ever use this. There are better scout rifles, in my opinion. You could do this cheesy build of high impact reserves, closing time. So as you're shooting, you just pre-shoot your stuff, so you're getting maximum closing time and you're getting increased damage. I don't play like that. I don't like cheesy builds, but there's going to be someone out here that does. And so there you go. If you're a new player and for PvE, you could get away with using this. And here's the thing. If you're a new player, you're not doing GMs. I'm sorry. So I think there are better weapons for you to chase than a scout rifle. That's my personal thing. There's better things in the game, and there's better scout rifles. Like the aggressive 120s, those are better. For damage, if you're going to use them. But for utility, again, I'm looking at this from a utility perspective. As a new player, you could use this for a stasis utility. Let's see, what else? Gridskipper. Again, I think this is another nostalgia bait. I do think this is nostalgia bait. For PvP, I still think this is good. You could use this. You could use this. This is what people are using. They're also using Lone Wolf. I don't like Lone Wolf because I'm usually playing 6s. For trials, that's different. But here's the thing. Most people aren't using 540s in trials. They're using 540s. And guess what? In PvP. And so if I'm using 6s, I'm going to use multi-kill club. I think if I'm going to use 540s, yes, 340s are getting nerfed. But if I'm going to use a 540, I'm going to use the Crota's End. I'm gonna use that one. God, I just had it in my head too. It's just so annoying. It's my baby. But yes, it's Arc. This is Void, but like, who cares? For PvP, there's better. They're significantly better than Gridskipper again. But if you don't do raids, you're a new player, returning player, you don't do raids. This is absolutely a fantastic PvP weapon for 6s, for playing, for having fun. I love 540s. They are fun. So it's up to you what you really want to do. If you're not a pulse rifle user, you're not going to like this. But if you love pulse rifles, then yes, you're going to have a good time. I think it is a little nostalgia bait for us veterans, but most of us already have the roles and weapons we want. But for a new player, this will get you going at a decent rate. For PvE, I honestly would never use a pulse rifle like a 540. I would use pulse rifles, just not this one. I think like Blast Furnace is better. There's better pulse rifles that I would actually use over this. Even with the synergy with Void, I just personally, I'm not. I would say this is like a 2 for PvP. This is like a, if you're a new player, returning player, it's a 5. If you're a veteran, it's like a 3 because you probably have better options unless you want the nostalgia bait. For PvE, this is like a 2. Like you could do synergy like this, demolitionist, destabilizing rounds, going for a void kit. You also do frenzy, just straight damage. Again, demolitionist using your grenades for void, and you're proccing volatile rounds and using more damage. Overall, I just rather use a harder hitting pulse rifle, especially in GMs. I'm using ones that have better range, not really rapid fires. I would say that's a 2 in PvE and like a 5 to 4 if you're a new returning player, and a 3 if you're a veteran. Oh man, Vantage point. I've actually played with this. I'm disappointed. I'm not impressed with jolting feedback. It feels like it takes forever to activate jolting feedback, or I don't know what it is. Something about jolting feedback, and maybe it was just because I was playing Prison of Elders, but the jolting feedback feels really disappointing compared to regular jolt. I just don't know why. It just feels worse. Now, if you're using it specifically for utility, eddy current and jolting feedback, really nice. Utility purposes, you're just stunning champions. That's always nice. So I would say for the utility use, it's like a 4, right? 4, it's a pulse rifle. This is something I'd rather use this over like any other pulse rifle because of the utility. Especially high end, has decent range and impact. I think it's fun. It's fun to use. I think eddy current actually shines here because you're immediately getting benefits from jolting feedback. For PvP, it's ass. I don't like it. 390s, not that good. I'm sorry. I don't like 390s. I don't think they're good. Adaptive frames need help. Outside of Bygones, I think Bygones is the best feeling one in my opinion. But I've tried this perk. I've not really cared about closing time because I feel like if you're having to do like this cheesy build where you're shooting half your magazine, you're already losing. Someone in PvP can sound off. Maybe you're like, oh my god, I got gold in comp with it. I don't know. As a new player for PvE, as a new returning player, this is like a 4, and actually it's a 5. It's a 5 as a new or returning player. It's a 5 because of, this, not just this perk right here. You could get away with this and this, but like this is the bread and butter. But this right here, this allows you to ignore champion mods. If you're a new player, you don't have much of a build. You don't have much of kit. Like I hate artifact mods because if you think of the new player experience, it makes it even worse because you don't have a lot of guns to choose from. And so artifact mods suck ass. This lets you circumvent some of that ass by letting you slap on a gun that just deals with champions. It deals with, like, was Unstop? I think it's either Unstop or Overloads. Either way, you get to deal with it, and you just use a gun that you want to use. There you go. 5 out of 5 for new or returning players. As a veteran, it's a 3. I think it depends on whether you like pulse rifles, whether you really like this one, or if your kit can just destroy champions. You're not going to care too much about utility, especially when you have like Tenacious Mastery, who can just destroy everything. Am I going to waste damage? Like jolting feedback does do some residual damage, but like I feel like there's, I don't know. It's very situational for us veterans, whether we like it or not. I think it's a 3, go either way. But for new returning players, this is a freaking 5 out of 5 because it helps you circumvent the stupid ass. The asinine that is the artifact mods, because I think they're stupid for new players. Sorry, I just get a little... I really hate artifact mods. I truly champion artifact mods. I hate it. Just how much friction it causes people. Scavenger! I'm going to say controversial. I know people love this combination. I think it's copium. Even for PvP, I think... or even new players, don't waste your fucking time on this. If you have Grasp of Avarice, and it is the weekly rotation, please go farm the Ogre. Don't waste your time RNG hoping that this gun, first off, drops, and 2, you get a roll. Now, I know they're messing with tonics, but you still have to do Prison, and you still have to do You still have to do onslaught for one of the two. You also have to do both to get either ingredients to be able to focus tonics. You still have to do the thing, which I think, and I'm going to be brutally honest, I think doing Grasp of Avarice, the ogre farm, is easier than Prison of Elders and onslaught from a LFG new player perspective. I think it's so much easier to have two people who know what they're doing and helping another dude farm versus Elders and onslaught, where there's so much that could go wrong. Whereas even if one dude dies in the ogre fight, it's okay. Two people can carry. So please, if you want a god roll PvP weapon in that slot, don't waste your fucking time with this shotgun. Go get Matador. And if you like raids and you can do raids, do Garden of Salvation. There is the Arc shotgun is also a precision frame, and you can make it a craftable 5 out of 5 god roll. I'm sorry, there's just so much things in the loophole. There is no fucking reason you should ever waste your time farming for this. If you're a veteran, you already probably have the comp shotgun. That's the god roll. You probably already have a god roll Matador. And if you don't, then maybe you consider this an option. I think this is, again, a 3 on like the PvP scale. For PvE, why are you using a shotgun in PvE if it's not trench barrel or it's not 1-2 punch? This doesn't have any of them. I'm not touching this. This is a 1. This is a 1. Even if you're a new player, why are you using a shotgun when you could use fusion rifles or side rockets? There's so many other weapons in this slot you're better off using. And don't fall for the artifact bait. We just talked about how there's certain things you can use to circumvent shitty artifact design. So don't play, the precision of the shotgun, it deals with barrier champions. Who cares? There's other weapons you can use to deal with it, or you can use Radiance. Just don't waste your time farming for this. If you're a new player, returning player, there are better weapons to farm. This should be the bottom of the barrel. Out of everything we play, this is the bottom of the barrel. Do not waste your time unless you like to play PvP. Even then, you're better off going somewhere else. All right, Insurmountable. I'm going to say something very controversial. I don't think sidearms are important anymore. I think side rockets are better. They do everything sidearms do, but do them better. And I know that they also do good damage. I'm not dismissing it. It's like in a vacuum, sidearms do some of the best damage in the game. But I would rather just use a sidearm rocket. Personally, I have no reason to care. PvP, that's a different story. Like, I think they're great for fighting shotguns. For PvP, I don't like closing time on sidearms. It makes no sense. There's really not much in like PvP territory that I care about. Now, I will say this does get attrition orbs, and you could do synergy with like the stabilizing rounds of explosions, or you could just go straight damage with One for All. I like this because you can use it, create some orbs, and you could really build into that. You could also do demolitionist stabilizing. You can do a lot with that. Again, it hits hard. It is precision, so it does hit pretty hard. I'm not too much of a sidearm fan, as you can tell. I do think it's better than the shotgun. But for PvP, I think this is a skip. For PvE, you got a couple of options as a new player. I don't think you can, especially if you don't have like any hard-hitting weapons. There's a lot of good synergy you could use, and you can't go wrong, I don't think. All right, this one's going to be very simple. For PvP, don't use it. Simple enough. It's not worth it. If you're a new player, no point. Oh, by the way, I think the sidearm for a new player, returning player, is like a 4. Like, it hits hard, so if you want a hard-hitting weapon, if you're a veteran, it's like a 2. I think there are better sidearms out there. Unless you're a PvP main, you absolutely love that weapon, but like, I'm going to point out that why you care about this when Anonymous Autumn just came out and was literally made for PvP, but I digress. Oops. Now we have Sovereignty. Here you go. That's all you need. For new players, returning players, this is a 4. The only reason it's a 4 is because if you don't have Tractor Cannon, you don't have a good kit or build, at least you can support your team by using Withering Gaze which decreases damage, applies weaken to the target you're aiming at. It's like box breathing, but with debuffs. So if you're a new returning player, you can support your team even if you don't have tractor cannon. Like, hey, I'm going to use this. I'm going to apply Withering Gaze. I'm going to do some chip damage with explosive payload. I'm going to get a couple shots off. I'm going to swap to my rocket or whatever, or maybe I'm going to use this to kick off. I'm going to shoot this, apply Withering, shoot my secondary or my primary, then use my my God Roll Chill clip or God Roll Chill inhibitor that everyone has now. Everyone should have that. It's like a 2 out of 5, but who cares, because you get the 2 perks that make it a literal God Roll grenade launcher. Apply this into your rotation. You are good. I'm telling you now, if you're a new returning player, this is great. If you're a veteran, you probably have one in your vault just in case. I think it's like a 1. I'll keep it because I'll keep 1 in my vault with Withering Gaze. Even if I don't even have explosive payload, I'll keep 1 until another sniper comes out that's better, which I think Vild F also gets it. It's also Void. It is an aggressive, but it also gets like Deconstruct, which is slightly better, but that's not, or Air Trigger if you want more ammo. Outside of that, there really isn't that much like ground to be had when it comes to the snipers. All right, now we're going to probably the second or third best option in my opinion, because we do have a 720 SMG with Jolt Shot. However, and also a 900, but both of them are out of rotation, and so we're going to talk about like in the moment. Yeah, PvP, don't waste your time unless you love SMGs, but I think there's better SMGs. So we're for PvP, whether you're a veteran or a new player, returning player, it's like a 1. Don't look at this subject like completely based on PvE. PvE, this is a multi-mac, but in the arc section. We talked about how multi-mac had everyone got God Roll Attrition Orbs with Kinetic Tremors. This gets Attrition Orbs with Jolting Feedback. Again, you can deal with champions and you're making orbs. So if you're a new player or returning player, absolutely, this is a 5 out of 5. This is probably the second weapon. Like, you should already get a God Roll Liturgy, the grenade launcher. This should be your actual focus, because you're able to make orbs for you and your team, and you're able to stun champions. You get the best of both worlds. If you're a veteran, this is a 3. And I say it's a 3 because some people love SMGs and some people don't. Also, it depends if you even need Jolting Feedback, or if you're just going to like Titan Slam and kill a champion anyways, and you're like, haha, what's jolting when I can just smash and go? Yeah, if you're a veteran, you probably have a kit that deals with champions, and so the need to deal with champions goes out the window, and you're probably going to use that multi-mac with Attrition Orbs and Kinetic Tremors for more damage, and overall, just making a bunch of orbs for yourself. Bittersweet. This is probably the third I would focus on. Actually, no, I take that back. If you're a new returning player or a veteran, this gun has no value. It is no value outside of surges. Elemental surges is the only thing I would ever care about, especially if you don't have a God Roll Wendigo, and even then, it's a slight increase. And I'm going to tell you why. You know why? You should all have this. You should all have this. Or whatever else, whatever the perk is. Everyone was given this gun. This is... like, I said for veterans about this gun specifically, this is a marginal increase in damage. It's like 10%, 15% increase in damage. Most likely, you're not going to care. If you're probably already getting this as a veteran anyways. I already got a 5 out of 5 doing 1 run. So I use it over Edge Transit. I keep Edge, obviously, for Void Surges. If you're a new player, why the hell are you wasting your time going for this? This gun, when they gave everyone the God Roll Chill Inhibitor, it made this gun pointless outside of Surges. But if you want you want to farm your nuts off, it is a 5 out of 5 adaptive because it gets the exact damn rotation. There you go. There's your roll. There's no reason to use anything else. Oh, it gets killing tally. Why are you using this? Why are you using this for ad clear? You know, this would have made sense if they gave it like chain reaction or some kind of explosive. Then it makes more sense because you're activating killing tally, and maybe chain reaction does more damage with killing tally. But why are you wasting your time using a grenade launcher or ad clear when you probably have liturgy or something else, right? If you're a new player and you want this specifically just because it's arc and you have no other arc grenade launchers, it is a 5 out of 5. Get this roll, you're done. If all you care about is I don't have a lot of time, I just want one good heavy weapon, you should already have it. You should already have it. If you're a veteran, you are probably feeling the same way as me. I already have like a Wendigo. That's God roll. I literally have Clown Cartridge and Explosive Light. I'm not too interested in going overboard. I also have Edge Transit, God roll. Like I have so many grenade launchers. Vault space is a problem, and so that's why I say this as a new player. Your vault space is going to go up. As a veteran, we have to be very, very picky because our vault is so freaking full. And none of these are craftable. Well, last but not least, we have one weapon. I know this video is a little long, but I try to go as fast as possible. Heretic's Fervor. It's an aggressive frame. If you're a veteran, you already know this gun is ass, and you're not even going to use it. Why? Because we already had an aggressive frame. We had the Nightmare weapon. I forgot what the hell it's called. Season of the Nightmare or something. God dang it, what is it called? Let's see. Destiny 2 Season of Nightmare weapons. No. What was it called? God, why is it season? Middle 6. I forgot what the hell it's called. It's gonna bother the crap out of me. But anyways, it's like Heretic something. I forgot what it's called. No, this is Heretic's Fervor, you genius. Anyways, they nerfed the interaction with chill clip on that grenade launcher or that rocket launcher. It's not as good. They nerfed it, and it's going to be the same thing. Essentially, what happens is they reduce, like I think what they did is when you shoot a boss, the chill effect automatically breaks, and so it's not as good. That's why no one uses that in rocket rotations. There was always one person that would run it and rocket rotations with Galley, and no one uses it anymore. It is not worth it. Sure, you could use it for champions, but why the hell would you do that when Noxious Mastery exists and Liturgy exists? Why are you wasting heavy on a champion when we literally have other guns that do the same thing? So if you're a new player, let's look at this from a damage perspective. This is about as good as I can give you. Or this. There are better rockets in the game. Hell, there is a world drop rocket, if you're a new returning player, than this. And yes, it's not stasis, but outside of surges, it doesn't matter. This rocket is probably the second worst gun in this rotation. Like everything else, you could use it for, like even the splicer weapons, you can kind of finesse and use them a little bit. And I think I missed one of the splicer weapons, so I do have to go back. But when it comes to overall, this gun is ass. It's bad. And I want it, like chill clip, this combination sounds really cool, especially if like Rhyme Stealer. Maybe you can use that for synergy, but like there's, again, you could use special weapons to do the exact same thing and still have a very strong, and you could get chill inhibitor that has chill clip on it. You can use a heavy grenade launcher with chill clip if that's what you really want. It's not good. This is a 1 across the board. I would not have anyone new or old or returning. I would tell no one should be using this GL. It is bad. Now, we did forget one splicer weapon. I do have to find it. Where is it at? Where's this little splicer weapon? It is Sojourners. There it is. I missed it. Sojourner's Tail. For PvE, shotguns in general are not that good. But again, like I said, if you're going to use shotguns, you're better off using one with trench barrel or 1-2 punch, because 1-2 punch obviously goes for builds. And then Trench Barrel is just you do more damage. If I'm going to use slugs, I'm going to use other slugs than this one. This is like a 1 for PvE. I guess if you don't have any shotguns, sure. You could go precision auto loading for swapping, get a quick shot. I just slug shotgun rotation used to be a thing, and some people still kind of make it work. If you're like the tractor dude, like on Crota, people try to do that. I think it's stupid. In PvP, if you love slugs, it's a very dependent on whether you love slugs. If you love slugs, there you go. Pop off. It's whatever rank it. If you don't like slugs, you probably don't like this anyways. If PvE, I just don't think. I think weapons. They're better weapons in like shotguns overall. Again, I think this is just nostalgia bait. I don't know why they brought this one back. I think it was a waste of space, in my honest opinion. Again, if I were to rank, I would say Liturgy, which if you just want utility, you automatically get it from the battle pass. The grenade launcher, you literally just get the god roll. Literally. And if you want the damage version, go for the damage version. The second one, I like I said, would definitely be like Noxious Vetiver. That would be your go-to because of attrition orbs and jolting feedback. Outside of that, the weapons we've yet to get, red tape, and I'm trying to think what else. What red tape and I'm trying to think what other weapons. Heretic's Fervor. Those are like huge misses. I think you can absolutely swerve and ignore all these weapons. There's like 3 weapons I would go for. 4 if you want bittersweet. That's my thought process. This is probably one of the weakest seasons we have gotten in a long time. I mean, Season of the Wish had some weak weapons too until the like certain archetypes were buffed. We had one of the best weapons when it comes to fusion rifles. Again, Liturgy is one of the best grenade launchers in the game for utility, but also you could argue like if you don't care about GLs, Tenacious Mastery exists and literally does the exact same thing with Chill Clip. And if you don't like that and you're a glaive user, you have a glaive that does the exact same thing with Rake Angle, which does the exact same thing. It also has good utility with like replenishing Aegis and Chill Clip combination. Those are all just other like GMs and open world and Iron Banner. When it comes to seasonal, I've told you what I thought. If you're a new player, there's some choices. There's some goodies. You know, you can scavenge and find some goodies. If you're a returning player, you might find some new guns that might pique your interest. If you're a veteran, you're disappointed. This season is not meant for the veterans outside of like Liturgy, but like I said, we already got a god roll, and they gave us a bunch of other weapons that are god rolls, like everyone else. It's a very weak season. I really hope that we get really cool hive weapons next episode or season. Like Heresy needs a pop off because my interest to grind any of these is. And I'm not expecting them to break the bank, but I would like, even if it was old archetypes that were revitalized with some of the perks we currently have, give me a reason to actually care. Like even if it's just the origin perk. Like origin perks can make me care. Like if it synergizes with elements. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Overall, I think this is a much weaker season for content, weapon-wise, but I did pay for it, so that's why I'm grinding. If you're a new player and you bought it because of the holidays, you're a returning player because you bought this and you're returning to see, hey, the final week is coming out soon. I want to see what's worth grinding. I hope this helped you. As always, I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time,